Children of God? And the children of devil. Hello, and welcome to the Manna-to-live-by. One day at a time. 5-minute devotionals. Today is November 4th. The scripture portion for our meditation today is from 1 John, chapter 3 and verse 10. In this, the children of God and the children of the devil are manifest. Whoever does not practice righteousness is not of God, nor is he who does not love his brother. Years ago, almost every home had a large family album in the living room. It had a stuffed leather cover embossed in gold. A leather strap with clasp extended from the right edge of the back cover over to the right side of the top cover, where the clasp latched securely into its socket. The pages were of stiff, glossy paperboard, ornamented with floral patterns and gilt edges. On each side of a page were cut-out sections where photographs were inserted. When visitors looked through the album, they would often remark that Josh looks just like his grandpa, or that Sarah surely has the family likeness. John's first epistle reminds me of that old family album, because it pictures those who are members of God's family, and who have the family likeness. However, here it is a matter of spiritual and moral resemblance, rather than physical. There are at least 8 ways in which Christians are spiritual, lookalikes. The first is that they all say the same tiling about Jesus. They confess that he is the Christ, that is, the Messiah or Anointed One, 1 John chapter 4, verse 2 and chapter 5, verse 1. To them, Jesus and Christ are one and the same person. All Christians love God, verse 2. Even though that love may often be weak and vacillating, there is never a time when a believer cannot look up into the face of God and say, "You know that I love you." All Christians love the brethren, verses 2:10, 3:10 and 14, 4-7 and 12. This is the hallmark of all who have passed from death to life. Because they love God, they love those who are born of God. Those who love God characteristically keep His commandments, verse 24. Their obedience is motivated, not by fear of punishment, but by love to Him who gave His all. Christians do not practice sin, chapter 3 and verses 6 and 9, and chapter 5 and verse 18. True, they commit acts of sin, but sin is not the dominating power in their lives. They are not sinless, but they do sin less. Members of God's family practice righteousness, chapter 2:29 and 3-7. It is not just that they do not habitually sin. That could be negative and passive. They reach out to others with deeds of righteousness. That is positive and active. The 7th characteristic of members of God's family is that they do not love the world, chapter 2 and verse 15. They realize that the world is a system that man has built up in opposition to God, and that to be a friend of the world is to be an enemy of God. Finally, Christians overcome the world by faith, chapter 5 and verse 4. They see beyond the sham of passing things to those things that are eternal. They live for the things that are not seen. Children of God? And the children of devil.
Today's Manna, originally written by William MacDonald. Adapted and developed as Manna-to-live-by, 5-minute devotionals for YouTube, by John Benjamin.